So after the Kua drive, yes, we needed to wait 2 months actually. This is a short time period for BioWare. We needed to wait 2 months for the new Flashpoint, and we actually not received 1 but 2. The Assault on Tython and the Korriban Institution. We're gonna start with the Assault on Tython. Basically, if you are in each type of class or faction, the Imperial characters, for example, is gonna start with the Assault on Tython, and the Republic characters start with the Korriban Institution. And I'm gonna start with the Assault on Tython. Basically, what we see in here is pretty much Tython, but on a darker place. Like, everything is much darker, and you can see the assault in there and everything. So, the Jedi Temple is falling apart and ruined and things like that. So it's really, really good in there. But yeah, the first things first, and I wanted to talk about is these are actually hard modes. So everything what you see on this Force Alliance storyline is all about hard modes. I wanted to wait to the Shadow Revan so I can give you every tactics, every details, every bonus bosses or everything. So I wanted to tell you that. But now let's talk about the bosses right now. The first boss on the hard mode, actually, it's unfortunately it's bugged, but we managed to do it. Basically, what you can do is DPSing the boss, stay away from the AoEs and things like that. And after that, 4 ads came up. The 4 ads, basically, what they're doing is putting a shield to the boss. So we needed to finish them fast. But unfortunately, all you can do is just the left side. You can put out the shields in there, the left side. On the right side, unfortunately, it's bugged, but we managed to do it. So I think it was pretty cool in there, and a really awesome fight, and really hard because of this bug. So for me, this boss fight is a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the bonus boss fight, because that's the next one, is, to be perfectly honest, not much of a big deal. We saw it a million times. He's doing like 2 or 3 abilities, and that's all. So it's much better than any other bonuses on the previous Flashpoint. So for me, this boss fight, bonus boss, sorry, is a 5 out of 10. But after that, moving on to the second boss fight, there is a really good, some kind of Easter egg in there. I'm gonna tell you why. First things first, the boss is not doing pretty much anything. What we can see, there is 2 new mechanics in there in the hard mode. The first thing is when the boss is using the stealth and stabbing us, the debuff is gonna tick and damage us really fast. So the healers really need to catch up and disappear that debuff, otherwise the player will be die. The other thing what I wanted to talk about this, as I tell you, is an Easter egg. The first, when you're doing the tactical one, so the normal move, basically what you can see is just 2 droids are spawning up. But then here there's not just 2, there's two droids spawning up, but then of different types. So mark 6, 7, 8, and I don't know if you remember, and if you have a Jedi Knight, you should know it. When you're doing the quests on Tython, you can pretty much every time when you level up and things like that, you can deal with these Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 droids. And the Imperials are buffing these droids, and that's what we're fighting for. So it's pretty much the same thing in there, and I really like that. And it's a really good Easter egg in there. So the Imperials are buffing the droids and things like that, so we defeat the Mark 6, 7, 8 droids. I think it's really, really good. So for me, this boss fight is a 7 out of 10 as well. Moving on to the last boss fight, which is not much of a big deal, to be perfectly honest. All we need to do is spread out, stay away from the AoE, and the boss is not doing anything else, just pushing and things like that, so there's not much new mechanic in there. I think it's a pretty interesting and decent fight overall, but yeah, it's not much of a big deal. So for me, this boss fight is a 6 out of 7. Overall, for me, the Assault on Tython, I think it's pretty good, but some of the things there are just missing and not much of a bigger deal like the other hard modes, which I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, overall for me, let's talk about the design, since the story is going to go later at the end of the Force Alliance storyline. So for me, the design is a 7 out of 10 because of the Tython, and everything is in there pretty much, and they just changed it a little bit. I think it's really good choice. And the bosses overall for me is a 7 out of 10 as well. So for me, the Assault on Tython is a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good Flashpoint without doubt. I'm a little bit hesitated with a hell of a good rank as well, but yeah, I just stayed with this because we saw it, the mechanics and the planets as well, but not just but on a different way where we saw seeing this now. But what do you guys think? Did you like the Assault on Tython, or what did you missing? Or tell me your opinions on the comments below. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys on the next My Thought video. Bye bye.